Hi everybody and welcome back to another video lesson. It's Cody with One Purpose Trading. Today I'm just going to touch base on cash accounts versus margin accounts like you see on the screen, and then we're going to jump into TradeStation, which I haven't really used too much throughout this course. TradeStation I do some of my day trading on because of the functionality and the features that are on their desktop version. I do like using them for one of my accounts for day trading. That might not be the case or the route that some of you might want to go, so I am just putting that out there for more exposure. Today, like mentioned, we're going to start off with cash accounts and then jump into margin accounts, and then I'm going to go through limit orders and market orders because we haven't really touched base on that much, and then I'm going to show you a visual on TradeStation like I said. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. Let's jump into it. Starting off, we have cash accounts. In simple terms, cash accounts requires all transactions to be made with available, otherwise known as settled cash. Say you fund an account for $2,000. You can buy and sell with a cash account up until that $2,000 is used, because then it becomes unsettled funds. When we're looking at options trades, it takes 1 business day for that to clear. So the next day that's going to be settled funds again. If you're looking at buying shares, it's typically 3 business days. The reason why cash accounts are very beneficial for someone with smaller amounts of capital that they're willing to trade is because you are able to buy and sell as many times throughout the day. So on a margin account, it is a little bit different, and I'll explain that shortly. One other thing that I want you guys to grasp from cash accounts, this isn't supposed to be complex at all. It's just 2 different accounts and they have different benefits. Day trading rules do not apply, so you can buy and sell with that settled cash. So this is pretty much just expanding on what I just said, but day trading rules, there's not a certain amount of day trades that you can place throughout the day that you're capped off at. It's just when you use all of your settled funds. So say you buy a stock that's going for $1,000 and you only have a $2,000 account. Well, you can do that twice before those funds become unsettled. Once they're unsettled, sometimes you're given the ability to still make a trade, but if you do that over the course of the year a certain amount of times, then you are flagged as a pattern day trader and they will limit you on what you can do. So obviously you don't want to get to that point. Don't over trade. Whatever your amount of money in the account is, you shouldn't be risking a high percentage of that anyways. But if you are buying and selling throughout the day small portions and you do use all your settled, just know you have to wait until the next business day if you're trading options and 3 days for stock. Now, I want to transition into margin accounts. So margin accounts, there are some benefits for opening up a margin account, but there are additional risks, and I want to stress that. With margin accounts, you are able to leverage your account and borrow money. So there is actually a way to borrow money from a margin account if you have money in that account. And this is going to make a little bit more sense once I go into the next bullet points, but just remember, margin accounts, they do carry additional risk because essentially you can lose more than you have in your account. So if you would take the route of trading futures contracts, you do want to make sure that you understand how to place trades, how to make sure you can have stops in place and protect yourself from additional loss. So with the margin account, you are able to have additional buying power. An example of this would be 4 times. So using that same example on the cash account, if you have an account for $2,000, you would have access to $8,000 to day trade. It's just a way to get more exposure in the market with less capital. But the thing is, if you do lose that money, say you're trading $8,000 worth of funds and you only have $2,000 in that account, well, there's something called a margin call where you will have to replace that money. You obviously can't borrow money and not pay that back. So I strongly recommend that you stick to cash accounts until you really understand the market and understand why it might make sense to ever open up a margin account for yourself. One last thing I want to expand on, if you have more than $25,000 in your margin account, you can trade essentially unlimited. So you can buy and sell throughout the day without any worries of being flagged as a pattern day trader. If you have less in your margin account, you can only day trade 3 times for every 5 rolling business days. Unlike the cash account, where you can buy and sell up until you use all your settled funds, in a margin account you must have more than $25,000 to day trade unlimited. Otherwise, you are only allowed 3 day trades within that 5-day rolling period. The last thing I want to leave you guys with is market orders versus limit orders, and I'm going to show you examples of both of these. But essentially, a market order is used if you want to get in or out of a trade immediately. It's going to get you in or out of your position instantly. And this is not guaranteeing you that you're going to get get the best price. And what I mean by best price, if you use a limit order and say a stock is going for $10.55 per share, you could put a limit to buy at $10.50. Well, once the stock comes down, if it does to that price point of $10.50, it will trigger and you now have a position in that stock. Well, if you would place a market order when it was $10.55, you are getting in at whatever price somebody is willing to sell those shares for, which could be $10.55. It could be right below that at $10.54, or it could jump to $10.56. The point is market orders should be used if you know a stock is going a direction and you want to get in instantly and not miss a trade, or if you are getting out of a trade because it's either going against you or you just want to take profit where it's at. There's something called OCO orders, which is a one cancels the other, and I'm going to show you how to do these bracket orders once we jump into TradeStation. For now, I'm going to leave you guys with that for the cash and margin accounts, and then the market and limit orders. We'll jump into it where you can see a visual, and it's going to make a lot more sense. All right, so jumping into TradeStation, you can see that I have a layout here on the desktop version. You guys can set this up your own way if you are going to go the route of TradeStation. This is completely up to you. But for me, I like it because it's very clean and easy to see. So if I'm getting in and out of trades, I like that they have a quick trade bar. I have it laid out where I can see the volume, how many people are buying and selling. And this is looking at the ES contract, so the futures contract. What I want to get to today is what we talked about in the terminology part of this presentation. So if I can draw your attention to this quick trade bar, we have a buy in a big blue button and we have a sell in a big red button. This is going to place a limit, either buy order or a limit sell order. And then buy market and sell market is pretty straightforward. It's going to be a market order. So this is a simulated account. So I'm going to place these trades. I don't have my charts up or anything like that. I'm just doing this just to show you the difference between market orders and limit orders, and then the bracket orders that I'm going to put into place. So first off, if I thought the futures contract was going to go higher, I would place possibly a limit order, and I could click this right here. You're going to see that it places the order until that gets filled. It's going to sit there, and that's the difference between a market order and a limit order like we talked about. Market order, if I click buy market, it's going to go off instantly. This, I might get a better price. As you can see, it's going to have to drop back down to a better price point to go off, and typically it will. But if the futures contract continues to push up, I might miss my trade doing a limit order. So say I'm a little bit late to the trade, and I still think it's going to go higher. I can cancel that limit order before it goes off, and you can see I'm still not in a trade. It's going to populate over here. If I click buy market, I'm going to instantly be filled. So I'm already in the position, and you can see that we're up $12.50 here. Obviously, this is just gambling right now. I'm just showing you guys for the presentation example, but on the right hand side over here, it's going to show me if I'm long or short. If I want to get out of this position, I can either sell market and it's going to get me out instantly, or I can put a sell limit order, click that, and you can see that the order is in place. And then once that triggers, I will get out of the trade right at that exact dollar amount. If I would click sell market, it's going to get me out ASAP, and it's not going to get me the best price. I'm just going to get out of the position. So in this case, I could come over here. I can also click cancel all, but I am going to click cancel here. So I have no orders open right now. If I wanted to get out of this position in 1 second, I would just come here and click sell market, and boom, the order was executed. You can see that it got me out at a loss, negative $15, and that's because I clicked sell market. That was the best price that somebody was willing to take that contract off my hands. So if I would do a limit order, remember I can come up here, either click sell or buy, and that's going to put it directly outside of where the contract is going for, either on the long side if I click buy, or the short side if I click sell. Otherwise, I can click anywhere, and you can see that it has a sell order open right here. And then if I come down here, I can click a buy order. So either way, it will place the trade once the future contract hits either of these limit orders. One other thing I want to show you guys is right here. If I could draw your attention, you can see it says place OCO order, which we talked about, which is one cancels the other. And then I have it set for one limit, one stop, and I'll show you exactly how this plays out. So if I think ES is going to push higher, I could place a limit order for a buy, and we'll see if this goes off, which it just did. And then right away, I can already have it set for how I'm going to take profit and have a stop loss in play. So I can click this OCO order. It's going to place a stop because remember, I'm long, so it's going to sell that long contract that I have if it hits here for negative $37 or if it hits here for $87.50. What I can do is I can drag this down. If I think it's staying around this price point too long, I want to get out of this position, well, I could drag it down for a $50 gain or put it up for $25. And once it hits either of these targets, it's going to cancel the other order. So I will be out of the contracts and I will not have any open orders. This becomes very powerful because you could almost walk away from your computer at that point, because at this point you can confidently know that once it hits either of these two prices, you are done with the trade. This is how you build confidence with your trading capabilities and the win rate to place these type of orders. So just to show you guys, if I would bring this down here, it's going to go off in a second. It just did. So now my profit on the day is $8. It was negative 15. This is all just for show. If you're going to use TradeStation, you can do this on any platform as well. But for the presentation today, we're just looking at TradeStation. You can go into where it says exit 1L and 1S, one limit, one stop, and you can edit exactly where your take profit or your stop is going to be. So I want my take profit to be higher than my stop. So it's going to get me out at a much lower loss. So in that case, it was about $37. My take profit would have been $87. So you can see that it was more than double of what I had my stop at. All this that I'm showing you guys today is just to show you how advanced it can get and save you a great deal of time. This is all things that I had to learn on my own that took me watching a lot of videos and studying how to get to this point. But if you are going to use TradeStation, I love the desktop capabilities. I used to trade traditionally on my phone, and I moved away from that and I went more desktop heavy just because I like being able to see everything and get in and out of trades very quickly and efficiently. So I know this video was pretty short and to the point, just in quick summary, but I want to show you guys the difference between a limit order and a market order and the benefits of the two, and then being able to use a desktop capability platform like TradeStation. I hope this has been a great deal of information to you guys that you can take and write down notes on it. If you guys have any questions, like always, please feel free to reach out. I hope you guys have a great remainder of your day and talk to you guys next time.